Ciao e tutte. That means hello to everybody in Italian. Why am I speaking Italian tonight? Because I'm making the classic dish, steak Pizzaiola. This is basically a braised steak that is cooked in tomato sauce with several vegetables and spices. This is a really nice, robust dish. Let's take a look at the ingredients. Look at all those beautiful ingredients. There's quite a lot of ingredients here, but this is basically a very simple meal. Okay, the star of the dish is a New York shell steak, boneless. You can use just about any type of steak you like. I would definitely stay with a boneless cut, however, it's easier to cook. Okay, the other ingredients we have here are white mushrooms. You can see they still have the growing media on them. I'm just going to wipe them off with a damp cloth. I'm not going to wash them. I don't want them to get inundated with water. I have a Cuban pepper here and a red bell pepper. These are both sweet. There's no heat in that. Very tasty, very colorful. Okay, at the basic salt and pepper, the most common spices in the world. I have some dried oregano leaves. I have some vegetable oil, that's for sauteing the steak. I have some garlic stir-in paste. I'm kind of doing the easy thing. Instead of dicing up a piece of garlic, I'm just going to go with that. I don't think too many people can tell the difference, really. I have some red wine. I have some fresh oregano. That's going to be garnish. I have some basil, and this smells so great already. That's going to be incorporated into the sauce. And I have some red chili peppers. Traditionally, you would use dried red pepper flakes. I don't have that. These are actually Mexican peppers, chili de arbol. They'll do the same thing. Now, the other thing I have, and this is really, really nice, these are Italian plum peel tomatoes, San Marzano. Now, if you're not familiar with San Marzano tomatoes, you really need to check it out. These are the tomatoes that most chefs prefer. These are very special. These are grown in volcanic soil by Mount Vesuvius in Italy. And it can only be labeled San Marzano if it comes from San Marzano. Now, compared to the Roma tomatoes, which most people are familiar with, the rounder tomatoes, these are more pointed. There's less seeds. The flesh is thicker. It has a stronger taste. It's less acidic, and it's sweeter. So how can you go wrong with that? Okay, this is going to be, oh, and of course I have my good luck charm here. And I want to thank all the 15 people that watched my last video and the few people that gave me a like. I appreciate whatever I can get. That's not an ingredient. Okay, this is going to be my supper, so I'm just going to get right into it. Let's do it.
Lay it out right here. Do it. Do it.
He means a kiss. We're doing little voices undercover.
Come on, sweetie. Do it. Oh, that's a sweet little pucker. I love it.
Hi, can I get you two a drink?
You sure can, sweetheart. Johnny Red Neat, okay?
Okay.
Do it. Do it.
All right. And you?
Do it. Bacardi and cola. Do it. Do it.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, here's my steak. It has a little band of gristle here on the outside. Don't think I want to eat that. So I'll just trim that off. Liberal salt and pepper. The two most common spices in the world. A lot of this seasoning is going to end up coming off in the cooking process. Okay, a little vegetable oil onto the steak, not onto the pan, because I don't want a whole bunch of smoke created. Into a hot cast iron pan. What I'm doing is I'm searing it. Gonna get some nice color on the outside of that. And that also starts the cooking process. Some people say that when you sear it, you lock in the flavors. There's a couple of different schools of thought on that. This is the way I've been doing it. It seems to be really good. Okay, I'm going to cook that for about 3 minutes each side. And then I'm going to start sauteing the vegetables. So here we go, folks. Nice and seared off. Both sides. Some nice color to it. Gonna keep that aside. I'm gonna pull off this cast iron monster and go to a Dutch oven. A little vegetable oil. Now you don't have to use a Dutch oven. I'm using a Dutch oven because I don't have any other cookware here, because I'm transitioning from New York City to Jamesville. If you've been watching my videos, you realize I'm transitioning to Virginia. So I brought most of my stuff down there already. But this will make a nice sauce anyway. I added some salt to help draw out the moisture from these mushrooms. This won't take too long at all. And then I'm going to add the peppers. Okay, the mushrooms are nicely cooked down. I'm going to go ahead and add my bell pepper. That was half of a red bell pepper and half of a Cuban pepper, or cubano. Gonna let those soften up a bit. I'm not gonna cook them down too much. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and add some red wine to this. Probably about half a cup. Gonna go ahead and prep my. Well, I'm gonna throw these red peppers in now. That way they get soaked up into the sauce. I'm gonna go ahead and prep my basil. Now basil is something that you really have to be careful with because it can become overpowering. Right now I'm making a chiffonade of basil. What I'm doing is I'm putting one leaf on top of the other and rolling it into a joint. And I'm just basically making thin little strips. Chiffonade in French means ribbons. And that's what you have here. Smells so good. Okay, I'm going to continue to cook this mixture until the wine is pretty much evaporated. And then I'm going to add the tomato sauce, garlic, and dried oregano. Looking good. So as you can see, most of the water has evaporated off. So all the flavor of that wine is in there. The vegetables are nice and tender. I'm going to add my San Marzano tomatoes. Now this tomato sauce actually had basil in it. And here it is. One lonely piece of basil. But that's the way it goes with a lot of these sauces because they don't want to make them too over the top. That's why I'm adding additional. And these tomatoes were actually whole tomatoes. I couldn't find the diced, but that's no problem because what I did is I just took a potato masher and smashed them down. A little garlic paste. Dried oregano. Now this sauce doesn't take too much time to cook really. Just a few minutes. So I'm going to stir that garlic in. This is looking so good. That was about 3/4 cup of tomato sauce. At this point I'm going to take the steak and put that back in. This is a braised dish, which means it's cooked in liquids, but the liquid should not come over the top. Going for medium rare, of course, which is what I like and what most steak lovers enjoy as well. Okay, we're in the home stretch here. I'm going to simmer this for about 6 minutes. Okay, we're near the end of the cooking cycle here. I'm going to go ahead and add my basil chiffonade. Anytime you use a green like this, you want to use it towards the end of the cooking cycle, otherwise it just becomes mush. If you can see, the sauce is reduced quite a lot. It's nice and thick. It smells so good. Okay folks, it's time to serve this puppy. I have 2 pieces of French bread here, and I have 2 pieces of mozzarella. Gonna go ahead and put the steak right on top of that. Now the heat from the steak will melt that cheese. Gonna go ahead and put some sauce on top of that. I have some ravioli here. These are actually store-bought artichoke raviolis. Not going to take credit for making those. Rana. I tasted one. It tastes very nice. If you like artichokes, or cacciola as they say in Italian, you'll probably like these. Bella, bella. Oh boy. I don't think I can even finish half of that actually. That's a mountain. Gonna go ahead and put some fresh oregano leaves on top of that. Very pretty. Very sexy. And of course, it wouldn't be Italian if you didn't put Parmesan cheese on top of it. Gotta have the palm. Now that bread's gonna soak up all the sauce. Okay, there's only one thing left to do, and then eat this bad boy. What do you think of that? Okay, let's check it out, folks. This looks too pretty to eat, actually. I love the way the Parmesan has melted onto the steak. The vegetables are still firm, which is the way you want it. You don't want overcooked vegetables. Ravioli is very good. I'm gonna go ahead and recommend that. Okay, let's cut into the steak. Steak looks pretty much medium rare. You can see that or not, I'm not quite sure. I really love the taste of that wine. That really adds a lot. That is a perfect medium rare. steak. And when you eat it with the cheese and the bread, it's really divine. If you can see that. A piece of mozzarella. The bread has sopped up the sauce. You know, honestly, I think this is one of the best meals that I've made lately. You just have to make sure you don't eat those hot peppers. It's really not overly hot at all. The oregano garnish really kicks through. The basil in the sauce really makes it tasty as hell. Okay, so let me turn this camera around. Seem to have my regular following here. We smell that food. That's Dodger on the right. And the little one on the left is actually his mommy. She actually has an ear infection, so I have to take her to the vet tomorrow. So, hope you like my video. It's a video that may be a little bit different than others. If you like it, though, you can feel free to subscribe. Throw me a comment. And I'll catch you later.